Peace. This is a meat and potato sorcery production starring myself, the Water Alchemist, and today's topic for the occult family is occultism is the brain of revolution. Now, when you think of revolutionary groups, it's obvious many people are going to think about the Black Panthers, the organization US, as well as the Weather Underground and the American Indian Movement, as well you should. And although they put out some fires, they fought valiantly, they were neutralized, or many just became disillusioned. That's also understandable because many of them didn't know the pains that the government would go through to stamp them out at any cost. And I will give some examples, such as this one starting out. The Chicago Black Panther Party, their chapter, was overseen by Fred Hampton Sr. And Fred Hampton had all the tools that any leader should have at their disposal. He was charismatic, a great orator, and he was honorable. And who came amongst him was this traitor, one of them anyway, named William O'Neill. Now, William O'Neill came from a middle-class family, but he stole a car at the age of 19 and drove it all the way to Michigan. And he was apprehended by a FBI agent. And basically, this is what happened. Look, you go to work for us or you do a lengthy prison sentence. So guess what he did? He went to work for the FBI and he got a stipend as well. And this led to the December 4th, 1969 tragedy where 99 bullets were fired into his apartment. And Mark Clark was killed along with Fred Hampton, who was drugged, of course, by William O'Neill. And he was shot in the head while he was with his then woman, Akua Njeri, who was formerly Deborah Johnson, and she was 8 months pregnant with Fred Jr. So this rat made a few mistakes, and I'm going to bring in the occult aspect in a moment. He stayed with the Black Panthers for a few years and made upwards to maybe $200,000, which is a lot of coin for that time. And he was exposed for the treasonous dog that he was. And he was involved with the Witness Protection Program. Now, here's the occult part. He made the egregious mistake of coming back to Chicago. He was in California. He made the mistake of coming back in 1984. Every city, as I said before, has a spirit. The city of Chicago didn't want you back. So what happened? He tried on a few occasions to kill himself. See, Mark Clark's spirit was still around, as well as Fred Hampton's. So what you did was, when you did a 1989 interview, Eyes on the Prize, which is a documentary about civil rights and Black power organizations, you said you had no allegiance to the Panthers. That came out of his mouth. And he didn't know anything about the Black Panther Party or its politics until he became an FBI informant and worked himself up as head of security. So you come back to Chicago and you're tormented. Even his own uncle said he tried to jump off a second-story window. He runs out into Interstate 290. He gets hit September 1989. But he recovers. He does it a second time. This time he's successful. January 15th, 1990, he runs out at the same interstate and gets deleted. And the irony is that you died on the national holiday of Dr. Martin Luther King. See how that works? But wait, there's more. I remember there was a professor in Michigan who was a part of the Detroit Black Panthers. He's deceased now. His name was Dr. Ahmad Rahman. And he even said himself, you can't stop infiltration. The person that sold out the Detroit Black Panthers sold them out to get some cushy position at General Motors. And I can go on and on and on. But William O'Neill met the fate that he deserved. And I have a question for the family. Who accidentally runs into incoming traffic? Which is what his wife said. It was accidental. Okay, right. So the occult, everything happens with time. Everything. So people will always meet a fate, and the occult know what's happening. And I'm not saying that certain things in the 60s weren't paramount. Then they were. Like shelter, education, food insecurity, all those things are important. But the occult is going to lead the way. It has been leading the way. It's been doing it secretly. Now they're going to have to step more to the forefront because of artificial intelligence. And the so-called godfather of artificial intelligence is Fred Hampton. He left Google, and he now wants to speak about the dangers of AI. He was with Google for 10 years. The godfather, as they stated, he stepped down to talk about this without affecting Google. So the occult is going to lead the way. It must lead this charge. And if you look at all these people, when their groups were crushed or destroyed, it always either starts at the top or it deals with infiltration. And this is why secret societies are very good to have around, as well as clandestine orders, because I think that how they screen people, I think that they are very, very cautious to the point of paranoia. And you have to understand it, because people have learned from like the Knights of Templar or Skull and Bones or the Order of Book and Snake, the Wolf's Head. They've learned, just like the Order of the Red Dragon. We learn too. So the occult must lead this battle. And even when you look at everything that happens, then when they say divine timing, spirits understand that very well. Very well. So this is something that I want people to really consider. Like I said, a lot of those groups, they did make sacrifices and did things, but the occult was always in the back. Now they don't have that luxury no more as occultists. And what they're going to start doing presently is that the more fascist that it becomes, and the more that they're going to try to limit speech, what they're going to use, and yes, I'm going to say it, they're going to start using love and light occultists, many who are going to become born again Christians. They're going to use them to get at the real sorcerers and magicians. I'm saying it and I'm putting it out there. So with that, that is your meat and potato sorcery for the day. I am the Water Alchemist. Be water, my friends. Peace.